Hi, welcome to this month's Energy Report. We are Peyton, Corey, and myself, Yaila, and we bring in 3 different perspectives to give you a heads up on what's in store for the month of this time is going to be November. So Peyton channels the Pleiadians, the High Council of the Pleiadians. Corey does our Astrology Report, and I tap into the collective to do a general collective reading. So Peyton, how about let's start with you?
Excellent. Thanks, Yaila. So, hey, y'all, I am Peyton. And as Yaila said, I channel the Pleiadian High Council. So, when I checked in with the Pleiadians to see what is coming up for us in November, they had some interesting perspectives. So, the first thing they wanted us to know is they said that we are in a time of what they call epic change. And they said that everyone is going to be having a very different experience with the energies in the month of November. They said there will be those people who have a very challenging time, and there will be those people who are experiencing absolute bliss and excitement. And it's all about the timeline you are on. So they looked at the monthly energy. So what they're doing is looking from higher perspective at the energy probabilities. And so they had a couple things that they were observing in our collective energy. And one of the things they were noticing for November was they say that it's going to get easier for us to manifest. And the reason for that, they said, is the 3D grid is starting to crumble. We are pulling our collective energy out of it. And as that happens, some of the veils and some of the templates that make it difficult for us as humans to manifest are going to be going away. So in November, you can look for your manifestation abilities to really start to increase. So that is something that is always good news. Now, another thing that was coming up in the monthly energies has to do with the guides are talking about collective contracts. And so if you are not familiar with collective contracts or soul contracts, we have done a video for this topic. We did it a while ago, but it is out there. And so when they are talking about collective contracts, they're talking about our agreements as a human collective to have a shared experience. And so what they said is happening in November is many of our more restrictive collective contracts. So some of those kind of not so fun things that we experience as the human collective in 3D, those contracts have expired. So what the Pleiadians are encouraging us to do in November is to start to make new collective contracts. They say if we are willing to work with our collective and individual contracts, we have the ability to change our entire reality. So that's something, if you are willing to do the work, they said the energies are going to be very supportive in November. And let's see, one other thing that they were mentioning for us in November is that they said they see humanity's sovereignty really starting to expand. They said they know this has been a challenge for us as humans because we created this very persuasive game of the Matrix and of 3D. But they said we're starting to realize as a collective that we created it all. And because of that, we can change anything that we don't like. So they said they are seeing the human collective really step into its collective sovereignty. So that is something that we will be seeing more of in November. People starting to stand up for themselves, starting to say no to things that we don't want to support anymore. So that is one of those energetic trends that they are seeing in our collective energy for the month of November. And then the other thing that they were seeing for us in November is they say that this is an excellent time for us to be building. They say you are the architects of your reality. And the way they are encouraging us to do this is to live in our imagination. They say your imagination is not just idle fantasy. They say it's how you create your reality. So they're encouraging us in November to live in our imagination in what we want to create. And along with that, the other part of the building puzzle, the other way that we build our new reality is they encourage us to start pulling our energy out of the old grid. So pulling our energy back from the 3D grid, from any of those things we see in the world around us that we don't like, that we don't want to support anymore. They reminded us our energy is still in those old systems. So if we start to pull our energy out of anything that is not supporting the whole, we will have lots of creative fuel, lots of energy to manifest the new things we want to see in our society. So November is all about being a builder of your reality. And the way they kind of sum this up for us, they wanted to remind us we are all God consciousness. They said nothing is off limits to you. And so when you start to really think about that, it really opens the door to anything we want to create. So in November, the energies are going to be very supportive of creation and building. Now, the second thing that I always like to check in and ask the Pleiadians is, what are the energetic themes for the month? What are we going to be seeing in the collective? What are we going to be noticing as the energies that are floating around us? And they said the first theme of the 3 that they have for November is thriving. They said we are getting out of this phase of struggle and we're going to start to be in an energy of thriving. So that is really good news because I have not heard them give us that kind of encouragement in a while. So look for the energies to be more supportive than they have been recently. The second theme they had for us in November was excitement. They said they wanted to see the light workers starting to get excited about everything we have accomplished. They said, you guys have made so many changes and so much progress, and you are on the verge of seeing the results of all of that manifest in your reality. So they're encouraging light workers to start getting excited. They said, we've been in kind of a feeling or kind of an energy of waiting, feeling stalled, feeling like we don't have momentum. And they said that is going to change. So look for excitement, look for thriving in the month of November. And then the final theme they had for us was that of community. They said light workers and starseeds are really starting to come together to form a powerful collective on the planet. And although a lot of us in the spiritual community have struggled over the years to find our tribe, to find our community, they said that is changing. They said more of you are standing in your light, more of you are sharing your authentic self, more of you are supporting each other, and it has created a network of light around the planet. So November is all about finding your authentic tribe, your community, and supporting everyone who shares the same energy that you want to see more of in the world. So look for community in November, look for excitement, and look for thriving. And the final thing they had for us, I always ask them, all right, what is your advice for us in November? If you were in our shoes, what would you be recommending? Their advice for us was, if you find that the energies of November are not thriving and supportive, they encourage us to take a closer look at our timelines. What are you creating? So what they said is, take a look at anything that is still popping up in your life that is not going the way you want it to. Where are you still in resistance? Where are you still pushing against things or looking at what other people are doing? And they encourage us to let that energy go, to bring it into our heart space, love it, accept it, and let it go. They said the time for doing this is running out. So it is a time to let everything go that we are still holding on to. They say, as you do this, you will find yourself thriving and in excitement. So cleaning up those last few things that you're holding on to that keep you in resistance. And then their final piece of advice for us was to let others be. They said, remember, you are all, in each and every individual one of you, your own God. You are God consciousness. So it's very beneficial to you to let other people make their own decisions, because each soul is making their own decisions as to how they will move forward right now. And if we are judging other people, feeling sorry for them, trying to save them, trying to bring them to our way of thinking, we may be interfering with their soul's choice, their soul's decision as to how to move forward. And that disempowers them. So they're saying, tend to your own field, keep your eyes on your lane, and let go of those few remaining things you are holding on to that are keeping you in resistance. So it looks like November is going to be starting to lighten up a bit for us, which I know I'm ready for. So Corey, what do you have for us for the astrology in November?
Thank you, Peyton and the Pleiades. We just love the Pleiades messages. I love how positive it was this month. Boy, we could use it, right? So the astrology. Well, it's interesting. You know, as I say lately, won't always be this way, but as I say lately, that, you know, we are in the midst of the big takedown to move us into the age of Aquarius. And so November, the energy is ramping up. But I agree with a lot of the Pleiades. You know, energy it has its higher sides and its lower sides, especially when it comes to astrology, well, all the time. And we can make choices. So November, half the month, as I always go through what the month brings. Half the month we will be in Scorpio season, and the other half will be in Sagittarius season. Yay! That's where a lot of the relief is coming. So our big days that we have in November is, of course, we have November 8th. That is the election day in the United States. It is also a full moon lunar eclipse, and that's in Taurus. And so the keywords really are I transform and I manifest, because Taurus rules money and the moon rules emotions, and it's an 8th house full moon lunar eclipse. So it's really about, I loved what the Pleiades said, Peyton, because this really is, the energies are my money or our money. So we are having a big shift in October. We had a big Venus shift. I can go into that in another video, but we had a big Venus shift from me, you know, what I love, what about me, what I, you know, how my money, me, my house, my car, to our. So we're going to see a big shift in Venus's energy moving forward for quite a long time. And so we're shifting from me to our. And I'm so happy about that. So that's a big change. We also have Jupiter, the expanding planet, and Neptune, which is rules Pisces, are going to go retrograde in Pisces. Pisces is that 12th house. So it's about old relationships, you know, possibly showing up. And this energy is from the year 2010. So if you have, you know, old relationships or family issues that have come up, that maybe, say, you haven't spoken to somebody in your family in a long time, or friends that you haven't spoken into a long time. Retrograde is always that review, you know, rewind, re-enter, people re-entering our lives. So it's giving us, you know, people will come, old relationships will come back into our lives quite possibly. And it gives us the opportunity to make new choices and new boundaries. So that is amazing. And And then also on the 8th, 8th is just a huge day. We have the north node, Uranus moon, which will be together in Taurus. And you know, it's motivating us to align with ourselves, is what it's doing. And it's motivating ourselves to align with ourselves and our destiny's path. So we've had a lot of this energy over the past couple of months about destiny, a lot of the aspects coupling up with the North Node in Taurus. And so we've had a lot of destiny points, and November's no exception. So that's all on November 8th. So it's good. It's good. We have the opportunity to have a lot of change on November 8th. And then, oh gosh, I forgot, and one more. On the 8th, we have the South Node, Mercury, Sun, and Venus in Scorpio. So the South Node, again, is what the collective is clearing, what's being brought up to clear. And the North Node is our destiny point. So on the 8th, still November 8th, we have aspects on the North Node and then the South Node in Scorpio. And so it's really a push to what no longer serves us, because we're clearing on that South Node. And it's really for this whole lifetime, what no longer serves us in this lifetime. So it's a big energy for clearing. And then and letting go of the things that don't serve us, so that if you choose to do that, to let go of those things that don't serve you, it gives us an opportunity to move closer to our destiny's path. So we have big choices, you know, in November. And then really, I'm going to go like the 22nd, the sun moves into Sag, which is always, Sag represents, you know, higher knowledge, fun, adventuring, traveling. So that's why when, you know, second half of November being in Sag, I'm like, woo, you know, that's where a lot of the funner energy comes in. However, don't let your boundaries down, because we still have a lot of other aspects of, you know, the little trickster energy that can come and, you know, if you're just not being aware, can just come and give you a nip in the hiney. And you don't want that. I know, I don't want that. So fun and adventure, but just knowing that, you know, if you're traveling, you might need to take extra time to get where you're going. You know, if you're going to the airport, go a little earlier. You know, if you're driving in your car, you know, and it takes 4 days to get there, plan 5, just in case, because we do have some retrograde planets as well, and Mars will be retrograde. So that's the output energy. So, you know, it's a ramping up and a slowing down. November can be a little bipolar-ish, you know, energy. So you're not crazy. I'm not. It's the energies, and we can choose to change it in our lives and not go with the energy and allow ourselves to, you know, get our butts chewed or, you know, beat up. Okay, there's great positive adventurous energies, especially in the later half of November, that we can all choose. The 23rd again is another huge day. We have a new moon in Sag. I have a lot of Sag in my chart. Can you tell? New moon in Sag, and all our goals are going to be stimulated. You know, Sag is that higher learning. The new moon is our emotional body. So it's a lot of emotionally thinking about, you know, we've probably been thinking about what our goals might want to be or what we want to create. And so this new moon in Sag is going to help to stimulate those goals, to move forward, because Sagittarius is a fire sign. So go, go, go. It's also going to help with creativity. And then Jupiter is going to go direct in Pisces on the 23rd. And this is ending a 12-year cycle. So it's amazing. This 12-year cycle, you know, all issues regarding, you know, Jupiter's the expansion, Pisces. Pisces on the higher level is, you know, the mystic, the psychic. And on the lower energies is deception, addiction, escapism, right? So on the 23rd of November, it's a 12-year cycle that is ending. So that is fantastic. And oh, do we have one more? Oh, and then on the 23rd, last one is Uranus, the North Node. Boy, Uranus and North Node have been doing this dance for most of the year. Is in Taurus, and that's about facing karma regarding how you've set up your goals. So let's just say that you thought a lot about, you know, the things that you want to create, but have chosen really not to do it. And you've had a lot of Neptune energy. And for those of you out there who've been feeling foggy or just not a lot of energy, that's the Neptune. So say you know, you really wanted to create something and you said, oh, you know what, I have time, I'll do it. November 23rd, that you might get a little nip in the hiney going, you know, might have to pay a little karma for not doing that. However, if you've been working hard at creating something new, like our videos, gosh, we've been doing this for quite a while and it's wonderful. You know, that's another karmic point, which is also North Node, destiny point. And then November 25th and 26th, just watch for negative thoughts. Those are days that we could fall into negativity, depression. So just know if that happens, you go, what's the date? Oh, it's the 25th, 26th, Corey said. So those are those days. And then on the 11th and 12th, get some rest. You know, get some rest. The early part of November, it's going to be intense. The early part of November is intense. And really the rest of the year has quite a bit of intensity. But there's also that opportunity for some great manifesting, some great releasing, and following that destiny point energy. Because Taurus is slow and steady. There's no quickness there. So it's about our long-term goals, you know, our long-term destiny. Where do we want to be years and years and years from now? So that's my astrology. And as I always say, choose love, choose togetherness. We're all in this together, even though we need to do our own individual work. We do our own individual work so that collectively we can all move forward because we're all in this together. So, Yaila, can't wait to hear what you got from the collective.
Let's find out, because I don't know either. Thank you so much, ladies. Actually, a little bit was coming in. It was so funny because before we even hit record, I just felt this overall excitement energy pop in. So definitely looking forward to see what that shows up for the collective. So as you all know, I just tap into the general collective energy live as we record. So let me just do that super fast. And I always just like to ask for anybody tuning into these videos to receive the information and any healing that is for their highest and best good. And I just ask to be guided. Okay, so I'm getting a really deep purple for the collective with some emerald green. So let me just tap into those two colors and see what that is representing. The image they're giving me with the deep purple, it was almost like each person had their own roots being rooted in, and it's almost like a stake in the ground. It's like super deep, super strong, really grounding into their place in the world. And that's kind of what that purple is representing. And it just kind of lights up their entire body. So it feels like for the month of November, you're really learning how to ground into who you are in this world, what you want to be doing, and claiming your stake. Like, this is me, this is what I want, this is what I value, this is what I am doing in the here and now. And it's very exciting energy. The emerald green, it's this beautiful, like heart expanding, open, almost like blooming flower energy. And it feels like it's connecting to the relationships, and I'm hearing what you love in life. It's like this blooming open for you. And as I'm saying it, I'm literally getting chills through my entire body, which for me is always confirmation from my guides, the divine, that this is the energy that you're going to be tapping into if you so choose. They just added that caveat. So let me just ask, what is important for the collective to know for the month of November 2022? Ooh, this is a really cool message. They're saying safe in yourself, meaning as you take that stake in the ground and you really tap into your own vibration, your own frequency, that is where you find the safety to navigate this world around you. So as you align with your heart, as you align with your own energy frequency, that is where you're going to find the most safety, the most clarity for the next steps that you're making. And there's not going to be any question as far as what you're meant to be doing, how you're meant to do it. You're just going to have this clear, intuitive knowing when you tap into your own energy, your own heart energy, like, this is what I need to be doing. And there's no question about it. So you're safe in your own self is one of the messages coming in. I always like to ask, what is something to watch out for November? Because, life's us. So let's see if there's anything to watch out for. Um, The thing to watch out for is to falling off track. So sometimes what happens when we get a glimpse of what our true energy and what our true frequency feels like, we can kind of start to want to control that and start to try to control the world around us as far as how we want it to go. And there's nothing necessarily bad or wrong about that, but sometimes we can kind of go a little bit overboard with what we want to have fun with. And it can throw us off track from what we really are valuing and wanting as the big picture. So one of the things they're wanting you to watch out for the month of November is just watching when you are enjoying something and you're having fun with something. Make sure it's not pulling you off track, and it's actually staying in alignment to where you want to be going, because it does feel like there's some energies that can pull you, even though it's fun in the moment, it may not be fun long term. And I think we've all had an experience like that where maybe, you're out with friends and you're doing something that night before, maybe have a couple too many drinks, and then you make some choices and it's fun in the moment, but then you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh, why did I do that? It's kind of that type of energy. So they want you to be mindful of, just because it's fun in the moment, is it still going to be fun for you long term, the next day, the next week, throughout the whole month. So that is something to be mindful of for yourself, because fun energy is fun. It is important. We do want to have fun in this lifetime. Amusement is one of your superpowers, but just make sure those choices of fun to engage in are also still in alignment for what your values are. And then I just like to ask if there's anything else you, the collective, needs to know for November. Anything missing? Anything poignant? Ooh, they're bringing in the word sovereignty again. And I feel like sovereignty is one of those words that we don't always, we hear it, but some people, I remember when I first started hearing the word, because I was being drawn to look it up, I had to look up the definition several times. So what is being sovereign? You're going to learn this month what that really means for you. For me, my understanding of it is really owning your thoughts, your actions, basically living in integrity. You know, you call the shots for what you allow in your space and what you don't. Your space being your body, your home, and anywhere you bring your physical self in this world. You get to call the shots. Nobody else has more of a say about what your energy is allowed to have or not allowed to have. So you're really going to understand sovereignty for yourself this month of November. And they're bringing back that first initial image they gave me of just drawing your stake in the ground, rooting in, like, this is my place in the world, this is what I'm meant to be doing. And you're really going to feel that on a whole new level, more so than you ever have before. So it's something to be excited about. It's very encouraging energy, and it feels like we're going to be seeing things that are interesting, is the word they're giving me. We're going to be seeing some interesting things playing out in the world. However, when you just connect back to that stake in the ground, your safety in yourself, all those things aren't going to matter. It's going to be like watching a movie. It's going to be like reading a really interesting book where it's going to feel more entertaining, and you're just going to be like, that doesn't even matter for me. Like, this does not matter. Where before, these types of things would have thrown you off track. You would have been pulled into that spiraling energy downward, pulled in that tornado. And this time you're just like, nope, I am not budging. This is not going to pull me off my center. And center meaning your heart center, with your own connection with the divine, the universe, God, source, whatever you like to call it. You're going to have a deeper knowing of what that experience is like for yourself. So this month looks really exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone just really ground into their own selves. So ladies, anything else you want to add for the month of November? Exciting times. Well, if you found any of the information that the three of us shared, definitely give us a like to let us know that you like these videos, you find it helpful. They're definitely picking up steam. We find a lot of comments people really enjoy. And so we love doing these videos for you. We appreciate any likes, any shares, any comments. Send it to someone who you feel needs to hear a message. And we will see you next week with another video, and next month for the next monthly update. See you then. Bye.